I want to kick off this podcast with a question that'll let you know if this podcast is for you or not. The question is, are you stuck in one or more areas of your life? So what does it mean to be stuck? It's simple. Number one, it means you want more than what you have now. Whether it's a better body, whether it's more income, whether it's more savings in the bank, a better relationship, a better life, you want something better. Number two, it means you know what to do to get started on that journey. You took the seminars, you read the New York Times best-selling book, you listened to that multi-million-dollar guru. You know what to do, but here's the problem. You're not able to do it, at least not boldly, consistently, and effectively. And that's why you are stuck. The interesting thing about being stuck is that it's so frustrating and defeating. You know you can do it. You just can't get yourself to do it consistently. So that's why I created this podcast, to get you through it, to help you get unstuck and be able to create the life you truly want to live. So the first thing that I want to teach you about being stuck is this. It's the worst part of it. I don't care who you are or how you're stuck. The worst part is realizing that you are your biggest obstacle. Realizing that I am often my biggest obstacle, because we as humans sabotage ourselves. And sabotage, my friends, is the reason you are
stuck. A Dulaneyism that describes you if you're frustrated because your results do not match your talents and abilities. You, my friend, are stuck if you know what you want. You know what to do to get what you want. And you have what it takes to get what you want. Yet you have very little of what you want because you are, in fact, stuck. I find it interesting that Mark Dulaney is the only trainer I know of that deals with this punishing problem. Won't you join me as Mark creatively portrays the frustration that goes along with being stuck?
For those of you keeping score at home, that was not the real Morgan Freeman. But I love his voice and I wanted him to be the opening for my podcast. I'm here today. My name is Mark Dulaney. I am a 64-year-old prostate cancer survivor, and I want to be your guide on your journey to the life you truly want to live. I am 3 to 8 steps ahead of you on that journey, and I want to be your guide to get us both to the end of our journey. Now, there are a lot of multi-million-dollar, 6-figure per month superstar podcasters and gurus out there who may teach you the what to do part. But I see my role as helping you do what they're teaching you to do. I'll teach you some things. I'll share some stuff I've learned that works. But ultimately, I'm here to be your guide, to keep you inspired, keep you motivated, and to get you unstuck on this journey. So I want to give you my story real quick and why I am only a few steps ahead of you, because my life had to start all over in January of 2025. In 2023, my father slowly passed away after an 8-year battle after he had a stroke in 2015. I have an 85-year-old mom who I am partial caretaker of. She's still independent, but I still do a lot to help her. And in 2023, I failed a PSA test and ultimately was diagnosed with prostate cancer in November of 2023. So I spent all of 2024 going through cancer treatment and then recovering from cancer treatment. They took all the testosterone out of my body. They messed up my prostate and my entire urinary system. And it took the rest of the year to get over it. And in 2024, I lost all of my major clients. I lost everything I had built. And I ended up in 2025 having to start all over. And so I found myself in January, February, and March stuck, just like you may find yourself stuck. And I had to fight my way through it. And I learned some things and I did some stuff. And I decided that since I went through it, I know others are going through it, that I'd like to create this podcast, The Cure for the Common Struggle, to help as many people get unstuck as I possibly can. That's my story, and this is where I'm at right now. So I got more clients in the last couple of months, and now I'm building this podcast to build my future while helping other people do the same. So I really want you to think about this real quick. So people generally fall into three categories when it comes to life. Now, they may have different ones for different areas of life, but ultimately we're either this. Think about this. We're full of joy over our circumstances. We love that part of our life. We love life and we experience joy, happiness, and fun. Others have become content because they've given up on more and they're content with what they have. But this podcast is for you if you're miserable because you're stuck. Because you know you can do better, but you're not. And that is very, very frustrating. And you may feel that way about your income, your career, your business, your marketing, whatever it is you do to generate income and how much you make. You're either joyous, you're content with what you have, or you're stuck and you're frustrated. Same thing is true with your body. You're joy because you feel great, you're healthy, you're moving around. You settle for what you have, or you're miserable because you know you need to take better care of yourself. Same thing is true with relationships. It's true with your personal finances and debt. But most importantly, I want you to really think about your outlook for the future. Because if the outlook of your future looks joyous, successful, and fun, you feel better about yourself and your life. If you're happy where you are, you're content and you're good. But when the future looks bleak, when all you see is more struggle, more pain, more suffering, that's misery. And I really made this podcast for you because I don't want you to be miserable. I don't have an instant magic cure, a magic success pill. I don't have it. But what I have is the ability to help you get unstuck, take those first few steps, start moving forward, and then have the expectation. And that's when you start to feel more joy, more positivity, more moving forward, one step at a time. And every week, my goal is to be here for you to help you experience that joy of knowing that you can get something done, that you can take the next step and then the next step. And as you build that momentum, I'm building momentum with this podcast and the things that I'm doing in my life, which I'll describe to you in future episodes. But for right now, I get it. The multi-million-dollar a month guys sound so much more motivational and inspirational. And there's a purpose for them. But how about somebody who's just a couple of steps ahead of you, going through some of the stuff that you're going through, who wants to help you mostly mentally and emotionally take that next step? If you get that, then this podcast is for you. Through this podcast, I'm going to help you do a couple of things. I'm going to help you cure your common struggle, which is the name of the podcast. I'm going to help you basically, ultimately, I want to help you define and become what I call version 3.0 of yourself. Version 3.0 is the person who can win what I also call your personal championships. Now, right now, when I'm recording this, the NBA playoffs are taking place. The Super Bowl was a couple of months ago. There's the Olympics. All athletes, actors, actresses, entertainers, they have the Oscars, the Emmys, the Academy Awards. But you need an award. And I call that your personal championship. And how you win that is by becoming version 3.0, the person who can do what is required to create the life you want to live. One personal championship at a time. Why am I doing all of this? I have a mission in my life. You know, I look back on 2023 and 2024 with all I went through with cancer, and I would miss it if I could. But now that I've gone through it, I wouldn't miss it because I understand how special life is, how people who stand by you in those times, how special they are. I understand things I maybe didn't understand about life before cancer, which one of them is appreciating every day that you get to live without cancer. And I say that to you because my mission now is to make the world a healthier and more successful place, one good person at a time. And I think you're a good person, and I want to help you become more successful, become healthier, accomplish your career goals, and move forward in your life. So here's some things that I want you to understand. Through this podcast, I want to help you develop 5 types of habits. That is the cure for the common struggle, developing the right habits that move you forward in life. There will be setbacks, but habits overcome setbacks over time. So those 5 types of habits are habits of thought, because I want you to understand that it is your thoughts that point your life in the direction that it's moving in. Positive thoughts make you look at and see positive things in your future. Negative thoughts have the opposite effect. They make you look down and see negativity coming your way. But your thoughts are very important. Now, contrary to popular belief, I do not believe you are exclusively what you think. I just think that thoughts are a significant part of who you are. But whether you're negative, neutral, or positive, that determines the direction your life is looking in. It's hard to think about climbing a mountain when you're looking down in a valley. It's hard to think about winning your personal championship when you're mired in the muck of struggle. So I want to teach you habits of thought. Second type of habit is habits of choice. I have been through a lot in my life, and almost everything started with a simple choice. The choice to go left when maybe I should have gone right. The choice to say no when maybe I said yes. Choices turn your life in a direction. You can think and look a certain way, but if you choose, you're going to go a different way. So thoughts point your life, but choices actually turn your life in a specific direction. And then there's actions. Actions move your life in a specific direction. They move you towards something. Every single action you take is moving you towards something or someone or some income or some level of health, some level of financial success. Your actions are what move your life. That's why you're not your thoughts exclusively. You really are what you do consistently. And that's what I define as actions. So think about it. Your thoughts point your life. Your choices turn your life. But your actions are what move your life. And that's why I say it's what you do that determines the life. Not just what you think, not just some of the choices you make, but it's what you do that moves your life. And with the right habits, you move your life in the right direction. And then this brings us to words. Words serve a lot of purposes, but I want you to think of forming habits using your words to get support for what you want to accomplish in your life. Selling is based on words. Getting someone to love you is often based on the words you say to them. Getting your children to follow your advice is based on how you present that advice through your words. I need you to get the importance of words isn't to show people how smart you are. The primary purpose of words is to get other people to support and give you what you want. I want you to think about that. Bullies can take. The rest of us have to gain support for that which we're trying to accomplish. And whether it's your children, your spouse, your parents, no matter who it is, your clients, your supervisor, your boss, the owner, whatever it is, your words are what win their support. And I want to help you form the habit of using words that make others want to give you what you want. And then this brings us to the fifth type of habit, which is questions. Questions were created to help other people see what you want them to see. Nobody more than yourself. The questions you ask other people get them to consider a possibility that you want them to consider, to make choices, to do things in the way that you want them to do. And I want to start with you. Because when you ask yourself negative questions, you give yourself negative answers. And those negative answers become your negative thoughts, which cause negative choices, which become negative actions, which is why you're stuck. And so when you look at these 5 types of habits that I want to help you develop as we move forward in every episode, habits of thought that point your life upward, moving towards the life you want to create, choices that actually turn your life in that direction, actions that move your life in that direction, words that get others to support you in creating the life that you want to live for their benefit, in addition to your benefit, and questions that refocus you on the right thoughts, the right choices, the right actions, and the right words, as well as help other people become more successful also. These are the habits that will get you unstuck, will help you become version 3.0, help you win your personal championships, and ultimately create the life you truly want to live. If you want to know what this podcast is about, it is about creating the thoughts, choices, actions, words, and questions that make you successful. That's really what it's all about. So this is the explainer video. You now get what this is about. If what I just said makes no sense and you think it's crazy and you think what you need is another motivational speech, this is not the podcast for you. But if you get what I just said, and I hope I explained it correctly, then you now get to understand. So in every podcast, which drops every early Thursday morning, every week, I'm going to talk to you about developing one or more of those five types of habits. In addition to that, to be more specific in terms of actions, I'm going to give you something called the cure for your common struggle. And I love your suggestions. I'm going to take a specific struggle that people have, such as they want to lose weight, they want to make more money, they want to be better at selling and marketing, whatever it is. I'm going to choose one a week. And I'm going to give you 3 simple steps to get started. So, for example, in this episode, I'm going to talk to you about 3 steps to creating a better body. Step number 1, drink more water than you drink anything else. Very simple. You want coffee in the morning? Fine. Just drink more water later. You want to drink a soda? I don't recommend it. Drink more water later. You want to drink alcohol? Drink twice as much water later. Drink more water than anything else. That's step 1. Step 2, eat foods as close to the way God made them. What does that mean? Highly processed, fast foods, so many stuff that's often cheaper, but it's not good for you. So step 2, eat foods as close to the way God made them as you can afford and prepare. I think you can figure out what that means. And number 3, I'm going to give you a choice of things. Start walking. Go for a 30-minute walk 4 times a week, a 20-minute walk 5 times a week, or go for a 5 to 10-minute walk after every meal. You start that habit of walking, and I've helped clients from walking go to running 5Ks and 10Ks where they swore they couldn't run. So this is a podcast. One of my ways I'm getting unstuck is through this podcast. And one of the things I'm doing is learning how to be better and better at podcasting. So yes, maybe I sucked today, but I'm going to suck less next week, and I'm going to suck less the following week. And when I get to episode 10, I won't suck at all. Or maybe it's episode 20. I need you to have that same outlook for what you're doing. Because the key to getting unstuck is taking the first step. But the way you sustain it is taking the next step. And one of the things I really want you to understand more than anything else is this. I confess I probably suck in episode 1, but I will suck less in 2 and less in 3, and I'll suck less in all the way to the end until I become good. And then I'll become really good and I'll become great. That's the process you have to go through if you want to become version 3.0, win your personal championship, and create the life you want to live. And so the reason that I hope you love this podcast is because it's by someone who's a lot closer to where you are than where that podcaster with millions of viewers. I'm going to get to my millions of viewers one person at a time by helping them get unstuck from where they are. And I always want to keep focused on that. You go listen to the multi-million-dollar podcaster, guru, or whatever, but then come back here and let me help you take that next step. Let me help you make a habit of doing what they taught you, because that's the missing element for most people. Everyone, I believe, knows what to do to make their life better. But either one of two things happens. They get busy with life, or they believe they're going to fail because they can't succeed in the first week. That's not life. Life is taking your time, taking that step, taking the next step, taking the next step, and getting better and better and better. One of the major sayings you'll hear me say is, I want to help you get a little better every day and in every way. That's what I'm working on. That's what I want to help you work on. If that makes sense to you, be back here next Thursday. That's episode 1 of The Cure for the Common Struggle. I made mistakes. There's bumps. There's a whole lot of stuff I could have done better. And you know what? A whole lot of stuff you can do better also. But you know what I did? I did it. And this week, I want to ask you to do one thing for me. One thing. Do it. And you know what that thing is you need to do. It may be some way you need to change how you think. It may be a choice that you want to make that's been really hard. It may be that action you need to take that you haven't done. It may be that words you need to say to someone. Or it may be better questions you need to ask of someone, primarily yourself. But my name is Mark Dulaney. I am your biggest supporter. I want to help you on your journey to creating the life you truly want to live. And by the way, this is not Morgan Freeman either.
All I can say is, wow. I told you Mark was unique in his approach. You will never get what you want as long as you are stuck. Is this your time to get unstuck?